With all the Battlefield 5 information that's floating around at the moment, it might not be of huge surprise to you that you might have missed a significant update to Battlefield 1. 5 brand new weapons have been added to the game, most of them World War II themed, and they're available to any player of Battlefield 1 who pre-orders Battlefield 5. I know how some people feel about pre-orders, but come on, my channel's based around the Battlefield franchise, so why wouldn't I pre-order the next game? The 5 new weapons that have been added to Battlefield 1 can almost be considered a World War II pack for the game. 1 for each of the main 4 infantry classes and 1 all-kit sidearm are now present in the game. Many of these weapons were actually leaked a few weeks back, and at the time I believe they might come to the game as a hint towards the next Battlefield title. The time for hinting has now gone though, and we can indeed confirm that these have been added as an introduction to the World War II scene. I'm going to go through all of the weapons in this video, let you guys know how they perform alongside others in the game. Now, as a side note, there are no in-game unlock assignments attached to these weapons. They are unlocked the moment you confirm your pre-order of Battlefield 5. If you're not into pre-ordering, it doesn't look like there is any other way to get your hands on these weapons at the moment, and that's probably unlikely to change in the future. Okay, so first of all, we have the M1919 Smg, more commonly known as the Thompson SMG. Now, this is a different weapon to the Annihilator Trench that was added to Battlefield 1 a few weeks back. The Annihilator was a true prototype weapon, whereas the M1919 was the model that later gave the Thompson models their iconic appearance. Within Battlefield 1, the Annihilator and the M1919 are almost identical in their statistics. They share a damage model, have similar accuracy statistics, have the same rate of fire, and hold the same amount of ammunition in their stick magazines. The only main differentiators that I can see are the iron sights, with the M1919s being clearer and actually functioning as usable iron sights, and the hipfire statistic. The Annihilator here wins out. It was described as a trench broom when it was developed and tested. Now, the M1919 appears to be geared towards players a little bit more who like to aim down the sights when shooting, but its hipfire accuracy is still really, really good. It's almost a Storm variant of the Annihilator, essentially, except it is a totally different weapon model, and any kills you get with the M1919 are separate to the Annihilator. If you like to aim down sights, use the M1919. If you're more of a hipfire guy, then use the Annihilator. Next, we're moving over to the medic class, and here we have the Fedorov Degtyarev, a water-cooled version of the Fedorov Avtomat that was added to Battlefield 1 with the Russian DLC last year. Now, according to the in-game description for this brand new weapon, the developers state that during the end of World War I and the start of World War II, several experiments were conducted with the Fedorov as a platform, and many of those were using the weapon as a light machine gun. The creator of this variant then went on to design and develop the DP-28 light machine gun, which was the standard light machine gun for the Soviet Union during World War II. So I think that's the link that we've got here to Battlefield 5. As for its implementation in Battlefield 1, the Degtyarev is a crazy looking weapon compared to most others in the medic class, but it does indeed take on a light machine gun form with an included bipod. Now, you don't get access to improved lens sights that the optical variant of the Avtomat gets. Instead, you're just restricted to iron sights or AA sights if you want to put those on there. The water-cooled barrel jacket takes up a little bit more screen real estate, but out of the 3 Fedorov weapons now in the game, this one is actually the most controllable. It features the same magazine and rate of fire as the other Fedorovs, so really you can look at this as a straight-up bipod version that's easier to control. The third new weapon coming to Battlefield 1, for the support class, we have the BAR M1918 A2. It looks extremely similar to the M1918 that we already have in Battlefield 1, but it does come with some differences, and the main one is the select fire option. you can switch between a slower rate of fire and a higher rate of fire. And in my testing, it's the higher rate of fire that you want to be using. I've even heard rumours that the lower rate of fire, which is the rate that you spawn in with, isn't working as intended at the moment, although I've not been able to confirm this with anybody at DICE yet. When you compare this A2 model to the other BARs already in Battlefield 1, it doesn't really come close to resembling any of them statistically, and that makes it a good choice in its own right. I think the one you compare it to most is probably the Storm variant, but really this A2 model is a low weight variant, regaining accuracy faster and coming equipped with a bipod. The select fire options make the weapon very controllable when using the slower rate of fire option, but in my experience, having it switched over to the higher fire rate makes you far more competitive at the close to mid-range, which is arguably where this weapon needs to be used. I would recommend giving it a try though, just make sure you move it over to the high rate of fire option and you should have some fun. The fourth weapon coming to Battlefield 1, we're getting a Soviet weapon, the Mosin-Nagant M38 Carbine for the Scout class. This is a World War II era Mosin-Nagant rifle, but it closely resembles the infantry variant of the M91 long Mosin that's already in Battlefield 1 when you look at its statistics, but it comes with the carbine upsides of greater accuracy whilst moving and greater hipfire accuracy as well. In my short amount of testing with this rifle, literally one round of conquest, it was extremely fun to use, and despite the fact it's a carbine, I was able to pull off some great long-range headshots with it, which was quite surprising. You should definitely give this one a go if you like close to mid-range sniping, being a little bit more aggressive. And the fifth new weapon added to Battlefield 1 is the M1911a1 Pistol. This is an all-kit pistol, so you compare it with any of the new primary weapons and go for a full new weapon loadout here. And the only major difference between this new 1911 and the many other variants Battlefield 1 already has is the skin. DICE has emblazoned the A1 with this ornate metal engraving to make it stand out, and of course the weapon gets its own entry into the game database, rather than just being a skin for the standard 1911. As far as I can tell, there's no statistical difference between this 1911, the brand new one, and the 1911s already in the game, so really there's no advantage to using it, other than it looking awesome and anyone you kill knowing you've pre-ordered Battlefield 5 to get this weapon. Now, beyond these 5 brand new weapons that DICE is adding, they're also running a new challenge and assignment system in Battlefield 1 called the Road to Battlefield 5. It's a new option on the left-hand side of your screen in the menu, next to the platoons icon. Click that, and it will take you into a screen showing various tiles containing weapon skins, dog tags, and other in-game items for Battlefield 1 that you can unlock just simply by playing the game. Each set of vertical tiles offers you up to 3 items to unlock each week until June 19th currently, although I believe there will be more after that, with the first 2 tiers being available to every player and the third tier being a premium member only one. I've already completed the first week's score challenge, and now we're on to week 2. You need to get 30,000 score in either Battlefield 1 or Battlefield 4 to unlock this week's rewards, which include the Aras skin, a brand new one for the Lewis gun, both in Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5 when it releases. Looks like that gun is indeed making the jump across wars. This is a really cool way to get direct rewards for your playtime in Battlefield 1, and if something like this had been implemented into the game back in 2017, I think this would have been a great incentive for players to keep coming back to Battlefield 1. It's also a big indicator of how DICE is changing their view on progression and player retention in Battlefield 5. We already know there's going to be daily, weekly, and special assignments in that game, and so having a setup like that in Battlefield 1 is maybe a way to show players what it's going to be like come October. And again, on the left-hand side of the screen, there are now 3 daily missions or challenges for you to complete every single day, and you can earn scraps so that you can get battle packs and open some, and hopefully get some new skins as well. So, there you have it then, 5 new World War II weapons coming to Battlefield 1, and a way for you to earn lots of rewards up until the launch of the game. Let me know what you think of all this down below in the comments section, and maybe give me some more in-depth thoughts on the Road to Battlefield 5 progression system. But once again, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, my name is Westie, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.